Have you ever stood in a room full of people and felt completely invisible? You're there, you're smiling, you're laughing at the right moments, but somehow no one really sees you. The conversations happen around you, not with you. The woman you've been thinking about all week looks straight through you like you're a piece of furniture. And on the drive home, alone again, that same quiet voice shows up. The one that says, "What is wrong with me? Why does this keep happening?" Most men in this situation reach for the easiest explanation. They tell themselves it's their face, their height, their jawline, their bank account. They scroll through their phone late at night, convinced that if they just looked a little better, made a little more money, hit the gym a little harder, then finally someone would choose them. But here's the truth that almost no one will say to your face. The reason you can't find a partner has almost nothing to do with your looks. There are men far less attractive than you who are in loving relationships right now. There are men shorter than you, broker than you, balder than you, who go on dates every single week. So if it's not looks, what is it? Welcome back to The Connection Code. Today we're going to talk about the invisible man, the man who is physically present but romantically invisible. And I'll be honest with you up front, some of this is going to be uncomfortable. A few moments in this video might feel like I'm describing you personally, and your first instinct might be to get defensive or click away. But if you can sit with that discomfort and stay until the end, I promise you'll walk away understanding something about yourself that could change your entire dating life. Because the problem isn't that women can't see your face, the problem is that there's nothing for them to see at all. Let me explain what I mean by that. Attraction, real attraction, is not triggered by appearance the way you think it is. Psychologists who study human connection talk about something called presence. Presence is the felt sense that someone is fully here, fully alive, fully themselves in a moment. And the invisible man has almost none of it, not because he's a bad person, but because somewhere along the way, he made a quiet decision to disappear. He learned that being unnoticed was safer than being rejected. That blending in hurt less than standing out and being told no. So he turned himself down. He lowered his voice, softened his opinions, stopped taking up space, and slowly, year by year, he faded into the background of his own life. And here's the cruel irony. The very strategy you're using to protect yourself from rejection is the exact thing guaranteeing it. Because you cannot be chosen if you cannot be seen. You cannot be wanted if there's nothing distinct enough to want. When you make yourself small and agreeable and invisible, you're not avoiding rejection. You're just choosing a slower, quieter version of it that lasts your whole life. So where does this start? Why do some men become invisible while others walk into a room and instantly pull attention? To understand that, we have to go back, because no one is born this way. Think about who you were as a young kid before you learned to be careful. Most boys start out loud, curious, willing to be ridiculous. They sing badly in public. They share weird opinions. They chase what they want without calculating the odds. But then something happens. Maybe you got laughed at for being too enthusiastic. Maybe you were rejected hard one time and it burned so badly you swore you'd never put yourself out there like that again. Maybe you grew up in a home where being noticed meant being criticized, so you learned that the safest move was to stay quiet and not make waves. And your mind, trying to protect you, drew a conclusion. It decided that visibility equals danger, that wanting something openly equals humiliation waiting to happen. So it built you a suit of armor made of invisibility. And for a while it worked. You stopped getting hurt as often, but that same armor that protected you from pain also sealed you off from connection. Because connection requires the one thing the armor forbids. It requires you to be seen. This is the trap that keeps the invisible man stuck. And it shows up in 3 specific patterns. Once you see them, you can't unsee them. Pattern number 1 is what I call waiting to be discovered. The invisible man believes, deep down, that if he just keeps showing up, being nice, being reliable, eventually a woman will magically notice his hidden value and choose him. He becomes the helpful friend, the good listener, the guy who's always around. He thinks he's playing the long game, but he's not playing any game at all. He's sitting on the bench, hoping to get pulled into the match without ever raising his hand. And then he feels bitter when someone louder or less deserving gets chosen instead. The hard truth is this: nobody is coming to discover you. Value that is hidden is the same as value that doesn't exist. If you never express interest, never make a move, never let your actual personality out of its cage, you are asking the world to fall in love with a version of you that you refuse to show them. Pattern number 2 is the chameleon. The invisible man is terrified of having the wrong opinion, the wrong taste, the wrong reaction, so he becomes whatever he thinks the other person wants. She likes a band, suddenly he likes it too. She has a strong view, he nods along even when he disagrees. He has no edges, no preferences, no friction, because friction feels risky. But here's what he doesn't understand. Attraction needs friction. It needs contrast. It needs to bump up against an actual person with actual opinions. When you agree with everything, you become forgettable, because there's nothing solid there to grab onto. A woman walks away from a conversation with a chameleon feeling like she just talked to a mirror. Pleasant, sure, but mirrors don't create attraction. People do. Pattern number 3 is living through the screen. This is the most modern trap and the most dangerous. The invisible man gets all of his sense of connection through his phone. He watches other people live. He scrolls through other people's relationships, other people's dates, other people's lives. And his brain gets just enough of a hit of fake social connection that the urgency to go out and build a real one quietly dies. He tells himself he'll start putting himself out there next month, next season, when he's in better shape, when work calms down. But the screen has numbed the very hunger that would have pushed him into the real world. He's not living, he's spectating, and you cannot meet a partner from the audience. Now, I want to be clear about something. Recognizing yourself in these patterns is not a reason to spiral into shame. Shame just makes you want to hide more, and hiding is the whole problem. The point of naming these traps is so you can finally see the invisible cage you've been living in. Because once you can see it, you can walk out of it. And that's exactly what the rest of this video is about. So if any of this is landing, stay with me, because here are the 4 steps to become visible again. Step 1. Have a single real opinion and say it out loud. This sounds almost too simple, but it's the foundation of everything. Start practicing having a stance and expressing it. When someone asks where you want to eat, don't say, "I don't mind wherever." Pick a place. When a conversation comes up about a movie, a topic, an idea, share what you actually think, even if it's not the popular take. Especially if it's not the popular take. As long as it's honest and respectful, every time you express a genuine preference, you become a little more solid, a little more real, a little more visible. You're teaching the world and yourself that you exist and that your perspective is allowed to take up space. Step 2. Make the first move on purpose and let it be imperfect. The invisible man waits for certainty. He wants a guarantee that he won't be rejected before he acts, which means he never acts. You have to flip this completely. Your job is not to avoid rejection. Your job is to collect it. I mean that. Go out and intentionally put yourself in positions where rejection is possible. Start a conversation with someone you find interesting. Ask for the number. Suggest the date. Most of the time, nothing dramatic will happen. Sometimes you'll get a no, and you'll survive it, and you'll realize the rejection you spent your whole life avoiding is nowhere near as deadly as you imagined. Character isn't built by the men who always win in their heads. It's built by the men who get told no in real life, brush it off, and ask again. Step 3. Build a life that exists with or without her. Here's something the invisible man gets backwards. He thinks he needs a partner to finally have a full life, but attraction flows toward people who already have momentum. So go build something. Get genuinely good at a skill. Get strong in the gym, not to look a certain way, but because discipline gives you presence. Get a circle of friends, a hobby you love, a project that makes you lose track of time. When you have a life that's actually moving, you stop approaching dating from a place of desperate emptiness, and you start approaching it from a place of fullness. You're no longer asking someone to come complete you, you're inviting them to join something that's already good. And that shift is felt instantly by everyone around you. Step 4. Let yourself be seen, flaws and all. This is the final and hardest step because it's the one the armor was built to prevent. Real attraction is not the result of being perfect. It's the result of being known. It comes from letting someone see the real you, the slightly awkward you, the passionate you, the you with weird interests and strong opinions and a real laugh. Every time you choose to show a true piece of yourself instead of hiding it, you become more visible, more magnetic, more human. Yes, some people won't like the real you. That's not a bug. That's the entire point. You don't want to be vaguely tolerated by everyone. You want to be genuinely chosen by someone. And that can only happen when there's a real you on the table to choose. These 4 steps are not complicated, but they will feel uncomfortable at first because you're undoing years of training that told you to stay small. Start with 1. Have one real opinion this week. Make one first move. The discomfort you feel doing it is not a warning sign. It's the feeling of you becoming visible again. Because here's what I really want you to understand before we close. The reason you can't find a partner was never your face. It was that you've been hiding the one thing that actually makes connection possible. Yourself. You've spent so long protecting yourself from the small pain of rejection that you walked straight into the much bigger pain of being unseen, unchosen, and alone in a crowd. And no amount of looks or money or gym sessions will ever fix that, because that's not where the problem lives. There's a quote I think about often: "We are not loved for being perfect. We are loved for being real." If you keep living invisibly, the cost isn't just a few missed dates. It's a slow accumulation of years where you watched life happen to other people while you waited for permission to join it. And one day that waiting can quietly turn into a lifetime. But it doesn't have to. You can decide today to stop hiding, to have an opinion, to make a move, to be seen. The world cannot choose a man it cannot see, so let it see you. If you saw yourself in today's video, hit like and subscribe so you and the Connection Code can keep decoding the real psychology behind love and connection together. And if you know a man who's been living invisibly, send this to him as a wake-up call, so both of you can step out of the shadows and into a real life. Thank you for being here. I'll see you in the next one.